Growing up in an interracial family, how was your relationship with your parents?
Well, growing up in an interracial family was really tough because my parents don't look like me. In fact, I would go around as a small child and I'd point out other Asian people. I'd say, they look like me, they look like me, and embarrass the heck out of my parents, only because I was happy to see another Asian person. Luckily, though, my father had been in Korea. He was in the army for 13 months. So he did know about kimchi and some other cultural things that I would do. So for example, I would sit in front of the TV, but I'd squat. And it used to drive my mom crazy. She used to pick me up and put me on the couch because I was very floor-based, just like most Koreans are. The good thing about that was that I was more in touch with my culture and learned more about Asian and Korean culture as much as I could, and adapted their ways too. So I always like to consider that I became a universal child, one who's not defined just by one particular aspect. Another thing that was really tough, but very similar to Asian culture, is that my father's extremely domineering and my mom's also very submissive. So I grew up with two different stories of what leadership is. It's either really kind of power over or power on the inside.
As a teenager, you were an active participant in activities such as sports and dancing. Was there anything you took away from being so involved?
Absolutely. My father was a coach and commissioner of the women's softball league, the girls' softball league. And the reason why he did that, he told me, because no one else wanted to. And so from like probably when I was 9 or 10, I learned that sometimes leaders do the dirty work that nobody else wants to do. My father also taught me 3 rules: suit up, show up, and do more than what's expected of you.
Your family went from doing well to maybe below middle class. Would you say this impacted any way you looked at hardships in your life?
I would say it would. My father used to be a business owner. He actually started out after the army putting parts on refrigerators in a factory. And from there he went to a paper factory, and then he became a supervisor. From there he eventually worked his way up through management and became a business owner. So definitely he taught me a lot about hard work. Now unfortunately the business went under due to a scandal. And that really took a toll on my dad. Not just because of the business itself, but all the people that he was responsible for. So he lost the business. After this scandal, he was on unemployment, and then it was really tough for him to find a job, and he became a concrete layer. So he'd go around making sidewalks or basketball courts. One of the things that I took from that, of course, is never do something that you feel that would be immoral or incorrect. Always have that gut check that you know that this is the right thing to do. Another thing that I also learned from that too is no matter how bad things get, to always keep a positive frame of mind. You never know what's going to happen to you. He did have an opportunity to get a job in Chicago during that time period, but because of my mother's job as a public school teacher, he decided to stay in New Jersey because he didn't want to uproot the family because of my mom's tenure here in New Jersey and her having to start all over again. So once again, he taught me about the value of the group, of really taking care of the family and being a concrete layer as compared to having a well-paying job out in Chicago. And that's sacrifices. Sometimes we all make personal sacrifices for our professional career. So he taught me a lot about that, about to do what's right in life, to keep a positive outlook, as well as that sometimes you do make personal sacrifices for the greater good.